Hi, I'm Jolaman, MS in Technology Commercialization student at Macomb. Alongside Aris Rafferty, a biomedical engineering student, we have been collaborating with Dr. Moise's team to advance a fetal movement detection technology to prevent stillbirths in high-risk pregnancies. Guided by mentors Amy Altman and Kelly Hawthorne, we have conducted a targeted market research, developed a go-to-market strategy, and created a pitch deck highlighting our progress. Our work has defined a dual path to market, a direct-to-consumer wellness app, and a prescription-based clinical application. We have outlined key milestones for clinical validation and minimum viable product development, identified funding opportunities and essential resources. These efforts position our innovation for meaningful real-world impact. I will now hand over to Dr. Moise to delve into the technology. Thank you.
Well, thank you. My name is Ken Moise. I'm a maternal fetal medicine specialist here at Dell Medical School, and I want to share with you a very novel idea that we developed to democratize the prevention of stillbirth. Stillbirth occurs every 26 minutes in the United States. That means 20,000 women lose their baby unexpectedly during the course of their pregnancy. And about a quarter of these occur in normal pregnancies. 1/4 of the 3.6 million births in the U.S. are considered high risk for stillbirth because mom has hypertension, diabetes, or other risk factors. Those patients are monitored once or twice weekly with standard tests using ultrasound. But between the visits, there's no monitoring at all. And so data would say that this probably doesn't change the rate of stillbirth. And then these tests have excessive time and financial burdens on the mother to come into the clinic multiple times each week. So our solution is a machine learning-based algorithm using the audio recordings from a smartphone applied to the maternal abdomen to detect and classify fetal movements. To date, we've recorded 96 hours of recording with over 100,000 two-second snippets of fetal movements detected by ultrasound. And when you look at gross fetal movements, we are almost 3 times better than the mother at detecting the actual movements that we see on ultrasound. And when you look at breathing movements, which are a sign of fetal well-being, we're 5 times better than the mother in detecting fetal movements because of breathing. We have 2 patent pending applications in through UT. This is our team. Myself has about 35 years experience in obstetrics. Kelly Gaithers, the Deputy Director of the Advanced Computing Center here at UT. Amy Altman was instrumental as an advisor to help us think about commercialization of this, and Kelly Hawthorne helped us with thinking about what clinical research we should do. Looking at our timeline, the money we would use from Texas Health Catalyst would be to complete our data collection and to go ahead and develop an app that would be used by the patient. We believe we could launch in 2027 a direct-to-patient application with perhaps a $1 per month application fee, and we project 150 to 200,000 downloads per year. We'd move on after more major funding to a large-scale clinical trial to compare our method to the standard as an additional adjunct to the standard clinical testing. And then later we would submit a 501(k) exemption through the FDA for a prescriptive-based application from physicians using standard CPT codes for home monitoring. And we project in the United States alone up to 820,000 high-risk pregnancies would apply for this. As far as some of the comments that we had during our reviews from a clinical validation protocol, we believe the multi-center clinical trial will answer our clinical validation. We will take into account security and other user experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Any questions?
So you mentioned that you've trained this on 96 hours so far?
It's 90 hours of recording, yes.
Of recording. So how much more data do you need to be able to increase your accuracy above to where you're at? And then how is that going to correlate to also like rare situations and rare complications during pregnancy?
So we believe that, and this has been my clinical experience, first of all, as far as number of patients, we are projecting another approximately 75 patients for a cross-sectional study. We've completed a longitudinal study, same patients seen 5 times. and now we're collecting cross-sectional data to look at other factors that could influence the audio uptake. There are going to be situations in pregnancy for acute loss where this won't detect it, but based on my experience, we'll see progressive changes in fetal movement over time, and the app will allow us to track that and develop a movement alarm signal, if you would, where now that patient is at very high risk for loss and needs to come in, and there should be consideration for delivery.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you mentioned 510K. Is there a defined predicate for this device?
Sorry, say again?
Is there a defined predicate?
There's not.
Yeah, as a mom, I think this would have given me a lot of peace of mind. Can I ask about the intellectual property strategy? Is there going to be a patent? How do you protect this? What's the barrier to entry for others?
I'm not sure I understand your question. Could you repeat
Just
it, please?
intellectual property, because what if somebody else does the same research and develops a similar product? What prevents them from entering the market and competing with you?
So we have 2 patents pending right now on the application itself, the idea of using the microphone to access fetal movements. We're not sure if we're picking up sound waves or we're picking up fluid waves, but there's 2 patents pending on this application.
I assume that a lot of these would be pre-viable. I was just wondering how much of an impact you think this would be clinically. Like how often can you intervene to change the outcome?
So I think it'll have a major impact based on being able to look. So stillbirth is defined as after 28 weeks gestation. So all those pregnancies could potentially have a viable baby if they're delivered in time and we get the baby out of a condition where it's deleterious to the baby. So I think it could have a major impact on changing this. Thank you.
All right.